First thing you need to realize is these e-bikes, they are mopeds, and there is no laws on the books for these mopeds because they're not mopeds. And you think that's good, you don't have to pay registration, blah, blah, blah. But there's a very big downside to not being considered an automobile. And that is parts availability for your electric bike. Okay, when a motorcycle or a car breaks down, the electrical parts break down, that company is mandated by law to keep the parts in stock from the time the product was in production to the product for like 10 to 20 years. If you have an electrical controller in your car, they, by law, have to supply OEM parts to fix your car. E-bikes are just the Wild West. They are changing their standards every year. Every single model has a different controller, a different wiring harness. They're not interchangeable. Okay, so where the plus side is you don't have to pay a car registration for your throttled moped. But the downside is it's a disposable product. If you have an electrical issue on your e-bike, it is totaled. If even just the cable gets cut, one of the electrical cables gets cut, that e-bike is in effect totaled. And the problem is people call me, I'll work on the non-electrical parts on an e-bike. But do you think my liability policy would cover me, or any other bike shop would cover us playing electrician on your bike? It's like if you hired a guy to do drywall, you're building a house, and you're like, well, since you're on the walls, why don't you can you start threading the electrical lines through for the outlet boxes while you're at it? It's like, ma'am, I am a drywaller. I know how to fix the drywall. I do not know how to fix the electrical stuff on the bike. Does this make sense? So customers, it's happening like once a month where customers will contact me and they're like, I'm having error code 22, 19, 36, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, can you help me? And I'm like, no, I can't help you. I'm not an electrician. And it's like, the fact is if if there was an electrician that specialized in e-bike repair and you called them out, their minimum fees would be $250 to $700 to fix your Adventin $1,200 e-bike, and the money would not be worth it for them. You would be frustrated with paying for it. So my advice, when you're looking for a cheap throttled e-bike to just have fun with, buy an Apis. They're like $900, and just know if the controller goes out and it's out of warranty, if the electrical lines get cut, that bike is totaled and belongs in the trash. It's a disposable product. And I'm not happy that e-bikes are disposable products. You know, I would like to make money fixing these e-bikes I don't like things going to the landfill, but no one else is telling you that the e-bikes are disposable junk. You ride them, you have fun. I know customers who have put 5,000 miles on these disposable e-bikes. You can get your money out of them, but they are not repairable in the same way that a traditional bike is repairable, or the same way a traditional motorcycle or a traditional automobile is repairable, because there's no laws that mandate that if you sell an e-bike in the US, you have to have that controller for that e-bike model in stock for the next 10 years. There's no regulations here. It's the Wild West. And e-bike customers, is my ego getting a hold of me? I want to complain about e-bike customers a little bit. It seems like every month I've got a customer that has an e-bike and their expectations of service are like way here, but I charge $100 on average, all right? So for me, it's like if I was a general contractor, you know, this condo I'm staying at, the next door, someone's renovating the condo. I'm sure they're gonna make at least $20,000 off this renovation they're doing. If you wanna be a bossy pants with a contractor renovating your house, go at it. I would keep my mouth shut. But you know, when my business is profiting like $100 and I'm probably paying myself, after all expenses paid, like $50 an hour from this service that I'm providing, I am not making enough money to be subjected to your like ego whims when I'm at your house. Like just this week, I go to someone's house. I don't charge him for this visit. I go to his house. I put the e-bike in the stand. I look at the e-bike. It is in very rough shape. It's been stored outside, and I don't know what type of metal this is, but it looks like the rim had a hole like this big, and it was corroding. And not only that, the rim was like bubbling out from this hole. So I'm like, this is not safe. This bike goes 20 miles an hour with the throttle. I'm not working on this bike. So I tried to call them. They didn't answer. They just left the bike outside. So then I sent them a text message. I'm like, this bike needs a new rim replacement. I recommend taking it to Pronghorn, the local Adventon dealer, to get a rim replacement. They don't text back, whatever. Then the 2 days go past. The guy, should I read the text or just go from memory? He tells me, yeah, I knew about the hole in the rim and it's not a big deal. I'd like you to come back and finish the job. And it's like, well, you decide it's not a big deal. That's good for you. But you know, if I just work on every bike that is, the customer thinks it's not a big deal, I'm not gonna have an insurance policy because one of these times the rim is gonna blow up, or there's customers who wanted me to solder their broken e-bike lines. It's like, I'm not an electrician. I'm not taking on the risk of soldering. If it was my personal bike, you know, I might solder it. You know, I might work on it, but I'm not working on yours. I don't have the insurance policy. I'm running a real business. And I think that might be the issue. In the comments, if bike mechanics are watching this, if you have a traditional storefront, are the customers as bossy? Or is it because I'm in this old truck, I'm short, I'm a little goofy, people think they can boss me around, but then back to this customer, I left him on read. I don't know, I don't have any nice way of saying I'm not working on your bike. So and then he texts me again, are you gonna do anything to help me here? It's like, no, I'm not gonna do anything to help you and I'm not going to change my mind. And then he was like ranted back to me like, yeah, you could have not left me on read. You could have told me that, it wasn't clear. It's like, it was clear. You just thought you could bully the crazy guy in the truck. Last video I talked about bike mechanics being cranky, and I think I might be a little cranky. Look at this view here. I'm at Bear Lake, Ideal Beach. I'm on vacation, and these people texted me while I'm on vacation, thinking they're the boss of me. Another guy texted me. He's like, I have error code, blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. Can you help me? And it's like, I didn't text him back immediately because I'm on vacation. And he's like, can you help me? Or can I go somewhere else? And it's like, what do you mean, can you go somewhere else? What kind of question is that? You can go somewhere else. Go somewhere else. Like, I don't care about... It's frustrating. Like, I did not get into bike repair to work on e-bikes or deal with this e-bike. Look, I'm wearing my e-bike shirt. I don't hate e-bikes. I think e-bikes are fun. I like the e-bikes with the throttle. I don't quite understand why people want e-bikes without a throttle, because I mean, it's got a motor, you might as well use it. So when I ride around on my e-bike, I use the throttle all the time. Also, if you're looking at buying an e-bike, either buy a super expensive e-bike with like a Bosch motor, or buy the cheapest e-bike possible, because these cheaper, under $2,000 e-bikes, they are disposable. I hate to say it, when you have an electrical problem, you're out of luck. So, see you around, everybody.